Welcome to Stache Sports Episode 4. Today's topics will be about the latest on TJ Watt's injury update, the Pittsburgh Penguins trade, and my Week 15 Sunday slate of NFL picks. If you want to see my Steelers pick, you will have to watch tomorrow's video when I make my Monday Night Football picks. First, on Thursday, I think it was, TJ Watt was admitted into the hospital, and then later in the week on Friday, they came out with a report that said the reason that TJ Watt was in the hospital is because he had a partially collapsed lung. The reason he got this partially collapsed lung was a dry needling treatment that he was getting to, I think, relieve other pains in his body. But I guess the needle must have gone too far into his neck and partially collapsed the lung. He's doing a lot better now, according to reports, but unfortunately, he will not be able to play on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. He will be out this week. Let's hope it's only this week and he's not out next week when we play the Detroit Lions and they can come back and have a full recovery. But let's keep praying and hoping that the best for TJ Watt. Right now, he's at home just recovering from his surgery and resting up. I'll get more in depth on the absence of TJ Watt and how I think the next man up in Herbig will show up tomorrow night and do better and do good against the Miami Dolphins. But that will be in tomorrow's video, as I said before. Also on Friday, we got major breaking news out of Pittsburgh. This time for the hockey team, the Pittsburgh Penguins, as they traded starting goaltender Tristan Jarry and Sam Pollin to the Edmonton Oilers for their starting goaltender Stuart Skinner and defensive man Kulak in a second-round draft pick. As a Penguins fan, I'm glad they finally got rid of Jarry. And yes, I know that Tristan Jarry this year has played a lot better than Tristan Jarry has played in years past. But sometimes in years past, Tristan Jarry has played good, well enough, but hasn't always kept it going the whole season. Like last year, he played decent, but then went on a real bad streak, and they had to send him down to the minors to make him play better and get right back on track. But this year, he has been playing a lot better than he has last year. But who knows how long that will last? And he had a big contract that the Pittsburgh Penguins are trying to get up. Because let's face it, he's not in our future plans, in my opinion. Because our future plans, we have goaltenders Slovis, I think is how I pronounce it, who we traded for this year. And then we have a goaltender that we drafted, Mirachov, who is lighting up in the AHL, which is the farm system for the AHL, which is a farm hockey league for the Pittsburgh farm team. He is for the Pittsburgh farm team in the AHL. Mirachov is lighting it up, and shutting out the other teams in that division. And he will be getting called up soon, and he's the future of the Penguins goaltending. Hopefully, Mirachov is good, or Slovis is good, or even Stuart Skinner is good, because the Penguins need good goaltending to have a good season. Because yesterday, Slovis led up a really bad lead that the Pittsburgh Penguins had going into that game, and we really need goaltending help. I personally think the worst decision in Penguins history was letting Marc-Andre Fleury go in that expansion draft way back when. They should have let Mammer go, but that's ancient history. Let's hope that this trade works out for the Penguins. I really like the trade. I'm glad they got rid of Jarry since he's not going to be in the future, and got rid of that contract, because that gets more money in the Penguins' hands to try to build around Sidney Crosby and try to help him get one more Stanley Cup before he hangs up his hockey skates and retires. Next, here's my Week 15 picks. Wow, I can't believe it's Week 15 already in the National Football League. It seems like just yesterday the National Football League just started. And yes, I know I picked the Buccaneers to win this week, and they lost. That's why I don't bet. You can laugh. That was a joke. But I don't bet. I just like to do picks for fun. And if they don't hit, then oh well. Here are my Week 15 Sunday slate picks. I got the Bears over Cleveland Browns because the Chicago Bears have been playing hot of late, and I think Caleb Williams can beat the Browns, even though the Browns defense has been decent with Myles Garrett, who been having a lot of sacks this year. Next, I have the Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens. Even though the Baltimore Ravens lost to the Steelers last week, I think the Bengals, who lost to the Bills in a close game, are playing hot, even though they might not have a chance. Even though the Bengals might not have a chance to make the playoffs, I still think the Bengals are going to try to play their hardest and be able to beat the Baltimore Ravens today. Next, I have the LA Chargers over Kansas City. Interesting fact, Kansas City, after today's games, could be eliminated from playoff hopes, which is surprising, knowing that Kansas City has been in the Super Bowl and the playoffs for the last few years, but this year they could be on the outside and having a trip to Cancun earlier than expected, which I think happens today. I think the Chargers beat the Kansas City Chiefs and push them further and further and push Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes closer to the golf course today. Next, I have the Bills over the Patriots. Yes, I know the Patriots have been playing really hot of late, and they'll have the Bills. The Patriots won Game 1 this year, but I think the Bills split today and won a close one against the Patriots. Next, I have the Washington Commanders, since I can't say Redskins, over the New York Giants. I think the Redskins are going to win. Commanders are going to win over the Giants. Next, I got the Eagles over the Las Vegas Raiders. Interesting fact, Kenny Pickett might be playing for the Las Vegas Raiders today over the Philadelphia Eagles. That kid has had quite the journey in the NFL. He got drafted by my Pittsburgh Steelers and didn't do so well, so we traded him to the Eagles, where he was a backup to Jalen Hurts. Then he got traded to the Browns, where he didn't make the opening day roster before getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. But without all being said, I still think the Eagles win today. If not, then the Eagle fans are going to go bananas because this is a long losing streak for the Eagles that they've been on. Next, I got the Jaguars over the Jets in Jacksonville. Duval, the Jaguars. The Jets are on the third string quarterback, Brady Cook. So I think the Jaguars should be able to win this game easily. Or the Jaguars should be able to win this game. Next, I got the Texans over the Cardinals. The Texans defense, according to all these sports media and sports reporters, have been good of late. So I think the Texans beat the Cardinals. Next, I got the Denver Broncos over the Packers. I think it's going to be a good game, but the Denver Broncos are leading the AFC right now as the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and I think they might win today in a close game. Even though I want the Packers to win to try to help the Steelers seeding in the playoffs, I don't know if it will happen, and I think the Broncos beat the Packers. Next, I got the LA Rams over the Detroit Lions. I think the LA Rams beat the Detroit Lions because I think the LA Rams could be one of the teams this year to come out of the AFC North. I think that the Rams could be one of the teams this year that comes out of the NFC to be in the Super Bowl over Detroit. But Detroit is no bad team either. That's going to be a good game. Next, I got the Carolina over the New Orleans Saints. Carolina should win this game, but the Saints do surprise you, even though the Saints aren't that good this year, like how they surprised and beat the Buccaneers last week. But I think the Carolina Panthers beat the Saints. Next, I got the 49ers over the Titans. The 49ers are going to beat the Titans. I don't know how much more to say about that one. Next, I got the Seattle Seahawks over the Indianapolis Colts. But the interesting thing about the Indianapolis Colts is that 44-year-old quarterback Philip Rivers will be playing today. 44 years old. He's even older than Aaron Rodgers is, who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Philip Rivers, I think they said, has been retired since 2020 and hasn't played football since then. This will be an interesting game. Entertaining to see how good a 44-year-old quarterback, Philip Rivers, 44-year-old quarterback, Philip Rivers can do against the Seattle Seahawks defense when he hasn't played a game of football for quite a while. In tonight's game on NBC, in my final prediction, I have the Cowboys over the Minnesota Vikings. Even though I don't like the Cowboys, I think they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. But it will be interesting to see how good the 44-year-old, the oldest quarterback right now in the NFL, and Philip Rivers can do today against the Seattle Seahawks. But those are my picks. Let's see what happens with my picks for the Sunday slate. Let's see how right and how wrong I am. As always, thank you for watching Stache Sports. If you have any comments or any questions, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe and share. Thank you for watching Stache Sports Episode 4.